Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do some easy, beginner-friendly nail art designs. If you're just starting out and need some ideas, or you just want to practice, then this video is for you. With that being said, let's get right into today's video. So for this first nail, which is the thumbnail, I'm going to be applying a base gel. You definitely want to add a base gel if you want your polish to stay on and don't want to experience any chipping or anything like that. So I'm doing one layer of this. I'm using Born Pretty's base gel and top coat set for this whole set. So yeah, right now I'm just applying a layer of that. Next, I'm taking Born Pretty's Milky Jelly 05, and I'm going to be using this as my base color. So I am going to be applying 2 layers of this as well. You may have noticed what each of these designs are going to be just based on the thumbnail, but I do want to go ahead and explain what I'm doing for each one. So I do plan to do a French tip for this and a little swivel or like swirl on the nails. So I'm starting off by putting some of this white gel polish onto my nail palette, and I'm going to apply 2 coats of this. If you have a nail art brush, that would definitely come in handy, especially when doing designs like this, because it just makes it easier to paint on the French tip. Or if you have other things like French tip stickers, I know they make some of those. You can use those to make your French tip, especially if you're not the greatest at French tip. I definitely was not great at first, and so eventually I just learned to hand paint them. And so, yeah, definitely use what you have. So I'm starting off by getting my smile line on there, and then eventually I am going to use the brush from the bottle to fill in the rest. I'm going to be using this light blue in the color Another Glass by Nail Reserve LA, and I'm going to put some down on my nail palette. This is going to make it easy for me to just pick up and go as I draw on my swirl. I'm also going to be using some of this darker blue, and I'm going to apply some of that onto my palette as well. So for this design, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want to get it as close to mine, you can. But I'm basically just envisioning what I would want my swirl to look like. I know that I wanted to overlap the smile line and the base color a little bit, so I did my best to do that, and I'm just painting on a swirl however I picture it in my head, honestly. Again, it's not going to be perfect. Everyone's swirl is going to look different, but if you can do a little cute swirl, that would be amazing. Once I got that how I like, I am going in with that lighter blue and I'm just gonna basically outline the swirl that I just created. So it's gonna be 2 lines of blue, and that's pretty much it for this design. Pretty simple if you ask me, but of course if you have questions, let me know down below. The next design we're gonna be doing is a star. We're gonna be hand painting a star, so get ready for that. So again, I'm just applying a base gel, 1 layer of this, and then I'm curing it in my lamp for 30 seconds. I'm doing 1 layer of this darker blue shade that we've been using, so honestly, I didn't need another layer. This actually was the perfect coverage, which normally I struggle with my coverage, especially with this brand. So it was super amazing to see that I only needed to do 1 layer of this. So now we're just going to be painting on one big star in the center of the nail. I honestly don't have a method for this. The best way I can explain the way that I do stars is I picture a star in my head and I try to mimic the exact same thing that I see in my head. Another way would maybe be imagine painting on V's. So like the top of this star would be an upside down V, and then the points on the side would be like a sideways V, and so forth. So it's really just however works for you. Stars can be pretty tricky to paint on, so yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. That's honestly as good as this star is gonna get. So now I'm just gonna fill in the rest of the star and then I'm gonna cure it in my lamp. And that's pretty much it for this design as well. So for the middle fingernail, we're gonna be doing a blooming flower design. So yes, you're going to need blooming gel for this, or you can use base gel as an alternative. I've heard good things about that working. So you can definitely do that. But as you can see, I just applied a base gel and now I'm just applying my base color of this light blue. And again, I'm just doing 1 coat of this. It shows up pretty well, so I didn't need to do another coat. Next, you're going to take your blooming gel or base coat and apply a layer of that without curing it. Next, I'm taking a medium-sized dotting tool and I'm just going to place the dots where I want my petals to be and where I want them to bloom. So I'm starting off at the top, working my way to the side and down to the bottom. And I'm going to let it sit and bloom. Once it's bloomed, I'm going to cure it in my lamp. Also, I am going to go ahead and get all of my flowers down before I cure this whole thing because I don't want to layer too much blooming gel or the nail is going to lose its shape. So I'm just trying my best to move quickly and that way I can just do it all at once. And this is pretty much how that design looks. You can choose to add pearls in the center, which is what I'm going to do at the end, or you can just leave it like that. Totally up to you. Starting on this next nail, this one's a little random. I did switch up the colors a little bit because I decided to do a black base. So I'm going to be using this Model 1's black gel polish and I'm going to apply one, well, actually two layers of this one. And then I'm going to cure it in my lamp in between for 30 seconds. So for this nail, we're gonna just do a star outline. So instead of filling it in, we're just gonna leave it empty in the center. As you can see, the nail does look a little matte, and that's because I attempted a star and it didn't come out how I liked. So this is my second attempt, but I'm just working my way from the edge of the nail basically to the center. And I do want this star to be kind of big like the last one that we did. So yeah, I'm just trying my best to connect the points as much as I can, and then I'm gonna cure it under my lamp when I feel like it looks pretty good. For this last design, it's going to be pretty similar to the thumb. It's basically going to be a swirl down the nail. So I am applying a base coat. I'm going to be using that Milky Jelly 05 as my base color. And then I'm going to be using those two blues to create my swirls. So now it's time to add a top coat to all of these. These are all pretty easy, I would say, line designs. You don't really need too much to be able to do these designs either. So I feel like these are super great to do if you're a beginner. But yeah, let's go ahead and apply this top coat to all of the nails. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to add some pearls to this nail, so I'm doing exactly that. So first I'm just applying a top coat and then I'm just going to stick the pearls on as regular. You can always use a rhinestone glue, that's actually preferred if you do want your charms to stick. But since I don't plan to wear these, I'm just going to use a top coat as my adhesive. These nails do have a little bit of a tab on the ends of them, so I'm just using a file to clean up the edges. And these are some easy, simple, short nail designs that you can do on your nails. Let me know what you guys think and if you found this helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.